This, Your Excellency, is a very proud moment for all of us in East Africa. If you allow me to take us down the memory lane, I recall in this building in 1993, as the foreign minister then, being asked to chair a meeting, the first tripartite ministerial meeting of ministers of foreign affairs, in order to try to jumpstart the process of East African integration after the collapse of the community in 1977. And it was not an easy matter, Your Excellency, because I recall the tension that there was between Nairobi and Kampala, for instance. It was so difficult. And that was the first hurdle we had to surmount, building confidence between the leadership in our country and that of the neighboring state of Uganda. Under President Ali Mwinyi, there wasn't much difficulty in Tanzania. But I also recall, Your Excellency, that once I worked for Dr. Manu Chandaria as the legal officer, and I was charged with the responsibility of trying to reclaim some of the properties that had been repossessed by Idi Amin. It was not easy. And about the same time, it was not even possible for Kenyans to cross the border to Tanzania because our border was actually officially closed. And it used to take a long, laborious process to get clearance for a delegation which wanted to work for Kibo March in Tanzania, in Arusha, to get clearance from State House Dar es Salaam, Your Excellency. It was so difficult. And even crossing the borders Namanga was an achievement in itself. But tonight, Your Excellency, East Africa has made such tremendous progress. When eventually I saw heads of state in the region meeting in Arusha and appointing, for instance, Ambassador Muthaura as Secretary General of the community that time, and I used to tease him that as far as I was concerned, he was the one gentleman was the most powerful letter of appointment because his letter was signed in open air in Arusha by 3 heads of state. And so I could imagine he didn't need much job security. Your Excellency, you've come a long way. And as Vimo observed, to negotiate for the customs union was a most interesting affair. That's when I discovered how efficient, how tough East Africans are as negotiators, because we would negotiate to the wee hours of the morning. I think it was Minister Mwiraria, as Minister for Finance, who had the most difficult task of convincing business community in Uganda and also in Tanzania and even here in Kenya to be bold and be able to bring into operation the East African Customs Union, which has now actually been a success. Your Excellency, then we used to be East Africans united by one wonderful resource, the Lake Victoria. I know that with addition of Rwanda and Burundi, I also know they are really part of the Nile Basin countries. And the fact that Kenya was honored to host the Lake Victoria Commission. I know I had to really do all kinds of tricks, Your Excellency, that time to get Uganda to accept that Kenya could host, our city of Kisumu could host this commission. But in the spirit of East Africanness again, even that hurdle was able to be surmounted. But tonight, Your Excellency, I think East Africa stands tall as the example of the regional economic commissions, commonly referred to as RECs, of a very successful commission, a very successful region. Even when we talked about COMESA, I recall that Kenya and Uganda were being prevailed upon to move out of COMESA and join SADC. And I think that the issues are now falling into place. And the full impact of these decisions, political commitment on your part, Your Excellency, because since you took over the reins of leadership of our country, you have been leading from the front, literally, saying that East Africa must move to the next level. And I know that even what is written before you, one people, one destiny, is actually achievable. I think, Your Excellency, what you have done during your term, expanding the community to include Rwanda and Burundi, and now we are talking about a population of 126 million East Africans. I think that's the size a figure that easily compares with Nigeria. And we are moving in that direction. Even as East Africans under ECOWAS try to put their act together, SADC are also trying to put their act together, the ultimate goal of African unity, Your Excellency, becomes a lot more achievable at the time when then those boundaries, because of globalization, will have fallen off. Because no longer, nation states will no longer really be able to claim sanctity of boundary, because business people and capital wants to move across those borders and be able to improve the lot of our people. Your Excellency, your commitment to fighting poverty and unemployment gets very well addressed through this move. And therefore, I don't want to be able to make a very long speech, because this indeed is a wonderful occasion. And I know that these distinguished ladies and gentlemen would wish to hear from the President himself, to hear it from the horse's mouth. There will be, of course, challenges here and there, like some of our farmers thinking what is happening, what is going to happen to our wheat farmers, what is going to happen to this and the other, all those issues. I know we had even a list, a sensitive list in 2005, and we were able to overcome. Therefore, the greater good, the need to lift this region economically will get, I'm sure, very well addressed. And therefore, with those